What is going on, Degens? Welcome to the channel. My name is Josh. This is Degen Theory Optimal Poker. I've been playing poker for a very long time, maybe like 6-7 years at like mostly low stakes. I'm trying to grow and get better, and I really wanted to showcase what that process is like, starting from the bottom. Hopefully one day I'll be looking back at this playing like 5-10, 10-20, and just reminisce on the times when I was playing at the lowest stakes. So anyway, this is our first ever poker vlog. I'll be playing at Texas Card House in Dallas, playing 1-2. If you haven't been there, the 1-2 games play more like 2-5. The 2-5 games play like 5-10 and beyond. The action's crazy, so should get some crazy hands out there, but we're not there yet. Right now, just got our McDonald's, because that's what we eat as a 1-2 player. But yeah, we'll eat real quick and then get over there soon, and I'll see y'all on the felt. Our first hand of the vlog starts out on the flop because I'm completely new at this and have no idea what I'm doing, and I completely missed pre-flop. Bear with me, y'all. Anyway, pre-flop +1 limped, and I raised to 15 with pocket jacks because it's Texas and people call way bigger raises. And of course, I get a call from the low jack and +1. Alright, the flop comes pretty safe in 6-5-5, so when it checks to me, I bet 20 and just the low jack calls. The turn is an overcard in the queen, so I check and my opponent bets 45. I still could easily have the best hand, so I call. When the river comes a brick 8, I check and he checks and we win. We're 1 for 1 so far in the vlog. Let's go. The next hand we pick up pocket 7s from the hijack, and we're playing 1-2-5 with an under the gun straddle. +1 makes the call, so does low jack, so I bump it up to 35, and of course they both call because why not? We're in Texas. The flop comes a pretty unfavorable one in king of hearts, jack of hearts, 5 of spades, and of course +1 decides to go all in for 75. We probably could call this one given it's such a small bet compared to the size of the pot, but we decide to wait because this player was kind of steaming after losing some chips and pick a better spot. The next hand, we look down at a pretty one, ace queen of diamonds. +1 raises to 7 and the low jack calls. That's not going to be enough for us. We raise it up to 30 and both players make the call. The flop comes queen 3-4, 1 diamond, and +1 checks. Then the low jack donk bets to 18. We're not going to call here with top pair, top kicker. We're going to raise. We make it 55 and +1 folds, and then the low jack player calls. The turn comes a king of diamonds giving me a backdoor flush draw, and when it checks to me, I want to continue betting with my pair and flush draw to try and get calls from any spade draws or worse queens. The low jack doesn't seem to have much and just folds, and we win. This next hand, the straddle is on, and there are 3 callers before I throw in 50 bucks on top of my small blind after looking down at a premium, ace king. The straddler calls and everyone else folds. The straddler was our opponent from last 2 hands who had built up a stack after playing loose and running hot. When the river comes 9-9-6, we check out of position and he checks back. The turn is a 10 and we check once again. This time our opponent bets 25. I make the call as our ace high could be good since we've seen this player splash around. The river brings the 8, bringing a 1-liner to the straight, and our opponent bets 90. We're pretty much out of there. Or are we? Let's think about this. This is a player we've seen play pretty loose, so he could be capable of a bluff, and he bet pretty quickly after 4 to a straight came out. We don't block any spades, so we could have missed a spade draw, and I don't think he would bet that much with a 9. So I flick in the call.
You got ace king, don't you? All good?
Trying to get you off of it. I got you.
So king queen.
Good call.
And we're good with ace high. This player would later tell me he tried to bluff us off with ace 4 of spades, so our assessment was completely right. Here's some chip porn because I thought I was so sick after making that play. Turns out we're not sick at all and we lose a couple of these chips before the next hand. In this hand, we look down at ace king. This time it's the suited variety. There's 2 limps before the low jack makes it $15, and we 3-bet to $50 with our premium hand. The low jack's the only person who calls, and we go to a flop. Flop comes 7 ace 8 with 2 hearts. When he checks to me, we're going to be betting with our top pair. We make it $35 and he calls. The turn brings in the flush draw with the jack of hearts, and he checks to me. We want to keep the pressure on in case he has any hearts that can call or any pairs that we beat. So we bet $70 and he folds, so we take it down. They've been treating us well all night, so why not run it back a third time? We peel back our cards and see ace king once again and put in the raise to 15 from under the gun +1. 2 players call from middle position before the button decides this isn't enough and 3 bets to $100. With our premium holding, we're definitely going to be putting in the 4-bet, but we have to decide what sizing we want to make it. Looking down at our chips, we see we have about 425 in stack, so it wouldn't make much sense to raise to a standard sizing of 275, leaving just 150 behind in a massive pot, so we just decide to shove it all in. It folded back to the 3-better, who goes deep into the tank. This is a welcome sign as we know he would have snap called with aces or kings, so at the very least we'll be in a classic flip situation. Eventually, he decides to throw in the call and wants to run it twice. He flips over ace queen of clubs, so we only have to fade a queen to take down an over $800 pot. I'll let y'all see the run out for yourselves.
Alright, there's one board.
So twice is 4.
You can go to 21.
Of course the queen has to come on the first board despite us being massive favorites in this hand. Lucky for us, the second board comes out clean and we get to split the pot and still come out making about $15. That boy Rosey from Next Gen Poker also happened to be sitting at our table and was the homie as he got our live reaction on film. A couple hands later, we return the favor by getting footage for Rosey in an all-in pot of his own. This one though, he actually wins, so shout out to you for showing us how it's done. We've got lots to learn from you about vlogging and poker. Keep running it up. In this next hand, we look down at pocket 4s from the small blind. There's 3 limpers and we limp as well, and then the big blind raises to 12. 2 of the other limpers call, and we're happy to just call and hope to hit a set. Which we do when the board comes 5-4 queen 2 clubs. We decide to check, hoping one of the later position players will bet and we can check raise. Our plan almost fails when the next 2 players check, but luckily the button bets 20. We spring the trap, raising him to 60, and the other 2 players get out of the way before our opponent goes all in for just 15 more. We happily call with our set and go to a runout. The runout comes a 7 of clubs and jack of clubs, so any club beats us, but when he doesn't table his hand, we show our set thinking we could be good. And then our opponent tables 10-8 of clubs, crushing our hopes and dreams. On to the next one. I'm still taking notes from the previous hand, so I just flick in a blind call of the $5 straddle from the low jack. Next act then raises to 13, and then the +1 player 3 bets to 35. So now we should probably look at our cards. And that's right, we have pocket kings, the second best hand in poker. Since we already look passive from just limping, I decide to call once again and preserve the image for this monster hand. The hijack calls as well, and we go to a flop which comes 9 queen 6 rainbow. When the pre-flop raiser checks, I bet 1/3 pot. The hijack folds and the +1 player calls, so I put him on some sort of marginal hand like an underpair or draw. The turn comes the jack of spades, bringing in the straight for king 10 and 10-8, and he checks once again. I'm not really afraid of those hands in the 3-better's range, and there's still a bunch of other draws he could have. Plus our hand is very disguised, so we're definitely continuing. I make it 70, and after thinking for a little bit, our opponent decides to jam, and we snap call.
Oh, you got the straighty.
Frankie,
No straight.
Go straight.
do you want 2-5? Yeah? Table 9.
Oh.
8 pitchers.
Damn it, boy.
You want 2-5?
You better put it on the ball.
Damn it.
We lose our entire stack, unfortunately, and have to reload for $300. The player we just lost to, some of y'all may know as President or Pez if you watch the Texas Card House streams. He's always in the chat making it live. He's a super nice guy, but unfortunately for him, that doesn't matter if you just sucked out on me to take all my money. We're coming for blood now, Pez. We're looking for revenge, so when we look down at King 5 of clubs versus an open to 15 from Pez in the cutoff, we're turning up the aggression. I raised to 50, and I actually think I should have gone bigger since I'm out of position. Pez has no problem calling, so we go to a flop looking to get some of our chips back. The flop comes 2 queen 3, and we bet 50 once again with our range advantage, and Pez calls once again. The turn comes the 9 of clubs, giving us a flush draw, and I think for a bit what to do here. Without any showdown value, I want to win this hand right away, so I shove my remaining 200 in, to which Pez responds.
I really think I'm good here, bro. I really do. You got ace king suited. I really think I'm good here. You took way too long.
Once, twice.
Rosey gets the action angle for us again, and we're hoping for a club.
Let's go! Let's go! Ace king suited? Wow. Bro, I'm too sticky, bro. Let's go.
Unfortunately, no club comes and Pez gets us once again, and I have to rebuy once more. Thanks again, Rosey, for that lovely angle of me getting wrecked. It was great playing with you. Pez announces he's leaving after this next rotation, so we are trying to get into any pot with him. But we don't need to try that hard when we look down at ace-king once again. The +2 player makes it 12, Pez calls in the hijack, and the cutoff calls before I raise to 60. The +2 player calls all in for less, about 50, which entices Pez to come along. The +2 player calls out for help, and we don't want any of that.
No help.
On the flop of Queen Jack 5, I decide to bet 60 with my overcards and gut shot straight draw, and Pez just folds, so we at least take down the side pot. The run out comes a 2 and a 3, and we announce ace high. Turns out our opponent didn't need any help, as he had the best possible hand in poker. In this hand, we look down at Jack 9 of spades. There's a $5 straddle, 1 limp, and then the low jack makes it 15. 2 players call, including Pez, so you know I'm in there. We make the call, and 1 other player does as well, so we're going 5 ways to a flop of 3 queen 7 2 spades. It checks to the pre-flop raiser, who bets 40, and Pez and I are the only ones to call. We improve with a 9 on the turn, but it's not the spade we were looking for, so we check again. The low jack checks this time, and Pez bets 110. This is one of the last hands for Pez, and we're fed up, so we call once again, hoping to improve to flush, and the low jack player folds. The river bricks off with the 6 of diamonds, and it checks through. Pez shows a pair of 3s, and we're actually good, so finally we get some of our chips back. For our last hand, we look down at pocket 7s and make it $15 in the low jack. The cutoff then goes all in for 95, and when it folds back around to me, we just call since we're closing the action. The flop comes queen, ace, 9, queen, 4, and our opponent flips over ace, king, and that's going to be it for us in this session. We head over to the cage and cash out. Alright y'all, that's going to be it for vlog 1. Thanks so much for watching if you made it to the end. It's about a couple weeks later since I played that session. And I know right after I played that, I was just thinking how hard it actually is. Filming and editing and doing everything that it takes to be a vlogger. So definitely got a new appreciation for everybody that does it. In this one, we were in for 900 and out for 470. Honestly think we played pretty well. Just didn't get too lucky in our all-ins and didn't really have anything going for us. We've played 2 sessions since then that are going to be on the vlog, and I can tell you those are going to be crazy. Our second one, we have a pretty big win, and our third one, we go to Vegas, so that's going to be awesome. So make sure y'all stay tuned for those, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.